Hi everybody, welcome aboard. We are today flying from Labuan to Tan Son Hat, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. And this is Labuan is a free port in Malaysia. And we are just continuing. This is actually sector 2 of 3. The first sector we flew, was it yesterday or day before? I can't remember. Actually, it was day before, and that was from Kuala Lumpur Subang Airport to Labuan, and now we're just carrying on the journey, and we have 19.5 tons of cargo, lots of local produce and timber products, and we are flying to Ho Chi Minh City. So we're almost ready. Just trying to clear the ground equipment and withdraw the jetway, and we'll get underway shortly. But I'm just checking on the stream to make sure all is in order there. So just stand by. Okay, looks like the stream is going. Alright, I can take this label off. And it looks like the stream's going. Okay. We don't have to run it. I'll give you back view. And let's see. I'll show you where we're located on the apron at Labuan, just close to the sea. And although we could actually take off from either direction, I'm making the extra backtracking all the way to the holding point for runway 14, just so that when we depart, we might have a chance of looking to our right and seeing the island in our view before we clear the area and carry on with our ocean passage. Okay, so the overall route, as a look at it, going over open water, and soon after we hit the coast of Vietnam, we arrive at Tan Son Hat International Airport. So if I put on the weather, let's see, for the radar, not seeing anything too bad. Turbulence wise, at flight level, I think our flight level is 360 today. So maybe some mild turbulence initially, and then a little bit more as we get closer to Vietnam. We just keep monitoring that. But right now, looking at our weather conditions, Labuan, just a few clouds at 1,300 feet, visibility more than 10 kilometers, and variable, very light winds, and actually next to no winds. And then in Saigon, right now, looks like there's no clouds, no precipitation. So ceiling and visibility okay. So just a little bit of turbulence, it looks like, along the way, and we'll just keep an eye on that. Okay, getting back to our apron. So our plan is going to be to push back facing south, and then we'll go by Juliet and then backtrack runway 14 to return at the end of the runway and take off. We don't have any ATC at the moment, and I don't expect to have any It is the morning in these parts at the moment, so it's a weekday too, so not expecting anybody on VATSIM. Okay, so let's get the APU running before anything. On the previous flight was streamed. I did stream it, so if you want to have a look at how that went, it was pretty nice. I also have, just as a reminder, I have skip tos in my description, so you don't have to go through the whole video. You can look for the departures and the ILS intercepts, and where we might have raised air traffic controllers, and 4 miles final. I think I do a standard skip 2.2. So that's pretty handy. I remember the first time I saw somebody on YouTube doing that, and I thought, oh, that's really useful. So I do that now myself. Let's just do one more double check on the QNH. Yep, pretty stable at 1012 hectopascals, which is what we have set. Okay, APU on the bus. APU bleed air on. And we can... Yeah, I'm okay. And sim ground action, we can disconnect the power and the air, and we'll turn the packs off, anticipating engine start. Okay, we're about 8 minutes early at this point for our departure. Oh, the other thing was that let's actually withdraw the jetwing. The other thing is on the previous flight we had ATC. I also had a couple of my buddies fly in their own 737-800s, and that flight was actually a scheduled flight for Raya Airways, a small cargo carrier in Malaysia. And unfortunately, although we took off pretty much on schedule, the Raya Airways real aircraft never made it off the ground. And so I don't anticipate that the subsequent sectors, because this is a round trip, it goes from Kuala Lumpur to Labuan to Saigon and then back to Kuala Lumpur. And if the first sector didn't happen, it's unlikely that these other two sectors would happen. So I'm not even attempting to fly this one at the scheduled time, although the first sector was flown at the scheduled time. Alright, so we've withdrawn that. Let's do before start, anticipating pushback and start. Flight deck doors are closed and locked. The fuel, 7,000, I think we've checked it already, but I'll check it again. Yeah, 6,008, we actually have about 7,000. Passenger signs are on. Windows are locked. Mode control panel is set. And takeoff speed set, 148 knots. CDU pre-flight completed. Rudder aileron trim has been set. And taxi and takeoff briefing has been completed. Anti-collision lights will be turned on after we've pushed back and are ready for taxi. Okay, before start, checklist completed. Labuan traffic, good day Raya Express 4163. is pushing back out of stand 1, and we will be facing south, Labuan traffic. Okay, so we're ready with that. Let's call for the pushback vehicle.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Roger. We are ready also.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Okay, here comes the push back truck. We'll be pushing back nose left.
Locking gear.
Nose left.
Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes released.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
0:55. Okay, all the fuel pumps on, and we'll start number 2 engine. N2 rising, 20% motoring, into 21%. Maintaining 21%. Okay, N2 rising again, 22, 23, 24, 25% fuel flow on.
Set parking brakes.
Parking brakes set.
Unlocking gear.
Okay, engine 1
Fuel
started.
truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
Engine number 2 started, engine number 1 started.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Into 20%. Percent motoring. Thank you, sir. Okay, fuel flow on. So we have a double derated takeoff today, but without an assumed temperature. That was called for by the virtual performance tool. To 60%, 62, 63. All right, both engines started up. Let's get the gens on. Generator 2, generator 1 on. Okay, let's get the packs back on. And we can now turn the APU bleed off and turn the APU off. Your damper on. Okay, we don't need the center tanks to be on. We'll take this taxi lights and the electrics. Fasten seatbelt sign is on. Engine starts to continuous. Anti-collision lights on. We're pretty good there. Of the landing altitude in Ho Chi Minh. Elevation 33, closest to 50, which is already set. So our cruise, our initial climb will be to 10,000, and then our cruise will be flight level 360. Okay, back to our diagram. Check the controls. Right. Forward. Center. Back. Right or left. Center. Right. Center. So that checks out. Reset the fuel flow one more time for good luck. And let's do our before taxi checklist. Before taxi, generators are on. Probe heat is on. NTI is not needed. Isolation valves are on auto. And recall checked. Auto brake set to RTO. Engine start levers idle detent. And flight controls checked. Ground equipment cleared. Before taxi checklist completed. Swig of coffee before. Okay. Taxi on. We're about to enter the runway, so we'll put our strobes on right now. Okay. Labuan traffic. Raya Express 4163 is taxiing to holding point runway 14. We'll be taxiing via the apron. Taxiway Juliet, and backtracking on runway 14, and we'll turn around at the end of the runway and then depart on a Labuan 1 Romeo departure for Tan Son Hat, Ho Chi Minh City, Labuan traffic. Okay, brakes off. You ready, Victor? Ready. Let's take a look at VatScope, just to make sure there's nobody. There's somebody coming, but he's not coming to see us. Okay.
Approaching 3, 2.
Labuan traffic, Raya Express 4163 entering runway, backtracking runway 14 for a runway 14 departure. Labuan traffic.
On runway 3, 2.
Okay, let's get to the other end quickly. Like we should get to the end of the runway and take a left and wrap around, turn back. So Raya Airways is a very small cargo airline. Originally started life as Transmile in the 90s, and it was then rebranded as Raya Airways. They have only one 737 aircraft, a 737-400. Of course, we have introduced a 737 MAX 8 to their fleet. Of course, just a simulation. And they also have 767 aircraft, a couple, and then, or at least one. And they have a couple of Airbus 321s as well. But the 737-400 sees quite a bit of action, flies to, like this route, it does Kota Kinabalu, it does Hong Kong, and I just saw a flight yesterday. It was between the main Kuala Lumpur airport, KLIA, and Singapore. So
On runway 14.
okay. Victor, you ready? Let's get the super TKS on. Labuan traffic. Raya Express 4163 now departing runway 14 on a Labuan 1 Romeo departure for Ho Chi Minh City. Labuan traffic. Okay, takeoff. Flap set and trim set. Forward pressure under controls. Throttles up to 40%. Stabilize toga. Release forward pressure.
V1. Rotate.
Rotate. Positive rate, gear up. That's one. Okay, flaps up. So let's look out the right window. Good view of Labuan, which was our intent of departing on December runway. There's the runway. Labuan traffic, Raya Express 4163 is airborne passing 3,900 for 10,000. Labuan traffic. Great view of the runway. We came in that way when we landed on last flight. Awesome. Looking straight ahead of the clouds. We should do our after takeoff checklist. After takeoff, engine bleeds are on, PEX on auto, landing gear is up, and flaps up, no flaps. After takeoff checklist completed. Continue our flight. Let's go up to our flight level 360. Set. I don't think we have Ukiba in our plan. Oh, we might have. Yeah, we did. So Ukiba, we can do a fuel check. Okay, power. External volume to cruise levels. 6.5. So I'll show you why we don't want to accumulate too much fuel. We've got the biggest cargo load that we've ever had. We've had 19 tons before, we've got 19.5 tons today. But if you take a look at landing weights, so the max landing weight is 69 tons, and we have 66.7 tons. So it's like we're within 2.5 tons. We already now have 500 extra kilos based on our plan. So we've only got a margin of 2 tons. Not that I don't think we will accumulate that much fuel, unless we go up to a higher altitude enable. So we keep monitoring as long as we have. I'm not going to worry if we've got up to 1,000 kilos extra fuel. But beyond that, we're going to have to monitor it closely. And if we exceed our landing weight, we'll have to burn some off before we get to tons on hot. Ho Chi Minh City. Okay. Altimeters to standard. And start switches to auto. We'll let our couple of engineers and extra pilots out of their seats. Coming up to 11 for another filter. On our way. Let's just check VatScope again. Make sure we're not. Some aircraft coming in behind us, but for WBSB. Don't have it on my scope. I think that's Royal Brunei. Okay, so the VOR on the left is Labuan, and the VOR on the right is Kota Kinabalu. So both of them correctly are getting further away. Look at that, the only ATC in sight is Thailand. We're not going to get coverage. Alright, so VVTS is showing up. That means there's at least one arrival, and that's us. Alright. So, status on our journey. We have 606 miles to go. We are scheduled to arrive at 0250 and we're now 0120. So that is 1 hour 50 less 20, 1 hour, 1.5 hours to go. Oh man, not too bad. Okay, and we're climbing through flight level 199. And expected cruise altitude is 360. Nice clear day. No turbulence. Let's see where that turbulence is that we were noticing in the skies. Yeah, okay, we're not there yet. Actually, we're going to be 360, so okay. We don't have a 360. So 340, not much at all. And 380, a lot more. So 360 is somewhere in between. Quickly try what I'm trying here is I am okay, I am gonna try Simbrief, try their performance calculator and see how it compared to ours. I've never used it before, so let's see. Here's the performance. Okay. So let's do Boeing 737 MAX, and we're going to do ours, which is Raya Express 33 kilograms, and the airport was WBKL. The runway was 14. We're not shortening it. And let's keep, yep, the weight. Okay, so the weight, our weight was for takeoff. Weight for takeoff was 69.9. 699. Good. And that setting was for, whoa, that's fine, okay, yep. Thrust setting optimum, lead setting, auto, anti-ice, off. What was the wind? Well, we should populate the weather now. Okay. So this is for takeoff, so let's calculate. So it says D rate 1 and assumed temp V1 was 142, 142, and 148. That's interesting, right? Next performance. It's different. But I feel like the V1 and VR and V2 is closer to what the ship was saying. Take a picture. And he wanted me to do an assumed temperature. So the main difference was that it was calling for a D rate 1 and then with an assumed temperature, whereas the virtual performance tool called for a double D rate with no assumed temperature. And the V1 and V2 speeds very close, which I believe it should be, whereas on the virtual performance to V1 is quite a lot lower than V2 and V-rotate. So all three, including the aircraft FMC and the Simbrief and the virtual performance tool, the VR and V2 are somewhat similar, and I would say a D-rate 1 with a fairly high assumed temperature of 44 is probably just a notch different than a double D-rate without an assumed temperature, because it does it say what thrust would be? Yeah, it doesn't have the thrust.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flight attendants will shortly be making their way through the cabin to offer various beverages of your choice. There will also be a selection of goods available for purchase, and we can accept most credit cards, checks and cash. If there's anything we can do to make your trip more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Now I'd like you to sit back, relax and enjoy the flight.
Okay, well that was interesting. Yeah, Simbrief free. So you get this landing calculator for free from Simbrief. It doesn't look as much like the VBT, Virtual Performance Tool, looks like the real Boeing tool. But it gives you the information, basically the information you need. Let's see how the landing performance works out. And after I've done both, I'll do a comparison of what I think of the two. Cool. Okay, we passed some waypoints and we're already at cruise altitude. Sisu 5.7. Singapore airspace now, yeah. We're in Singapore airspace now. so extra fuel I'm carrying less now, knowing that I was going to have a fuller cargo load. I got 23 minutes extra fuel as I gain confidence in consumption and the setting of my fuel bias minus 18. I'll probably lower that further. And you know, the times when I'll keep it up at least half an hour are going to be between half an hour and an hour will be at VATSIM events where I expect to have some congestion, like a Vectricity Copenhagen type event or a world flight event, first sector or last sector. Okay, so our top of descent is in 318 miles at 217, so we're actually coming up to it pretty quick. So let's check the conditions in Ho Chi Minh. Wow, we got VATSIM there, that's awesome. Okay, arrival is 25 right, and you know what? That's what I expected, 25 right. Okay, so let's tune those radios, 110.5. And the bearing is 250. The course is 250. Okay, and does that mean that there's ATC? There's ground. Ah, that's awesome. There's ground. And thank you, because, oh, wait a minute. Now there's, oh, okay. There's ground and it is. I guess that's why there's two. So ground is on 121.9. Okay. We at least get to talk to somebody at some point along. Alright, so back to our charts now. ILS Whiskey runway 25 right. Okay. Getting a bit of that turbulence. Yeah, you can see it. Out of an abundance of caution, let's put on the sequence. Ladies and gentlemen, just out of an abundance of caution, you're experiencing slight turbulence, so we'll turn the seatbelt signs on and hopefully when we clear this area and we've had at least 10 or 15 minutes of smooth riding, we'll switch the fasten seatbelt signs off again. Oh, and it's a good thing that we turned it on. So please fasten your seatbelts, and when I do turn the seatbelt signs off again, please, it is in everybody's best interest if when you're seated, always have your seatbelts fastened. This is your captain speaking. Thank you for your consideration. Alright, so minimums. minimums, we'll assume a can't be 352 feet. So we'll make that 360. Okay, our intercept is going to be 2,000 feet, and our missed approach altitude is 3,000. So 2,000 and 3,000. So we've set that. We'll come back to the approach in a second. I just wanted to note down here, parking bay V1 is gate 53. It is in fact not a gate, it's a parking bay without jetways because it's cargo in the cargo area. Okay, 53 is what we want. Okay, so let's go back to what we're planning to do. There is probably not going to be any traffic here, so what I would like to do is, if you look at this chart, when we get to run C, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a beeline from Runzi to Sokan. Sokan being the first point on the approach. So we can cut out this little diversion to the northeast and then the long horizontal track back to Sokan. We'll remove all that, go from Runzi to Sokan directly. I'm not going to do that immediately, but to help set it up so that we're not trying to dive too steeply anywhere. I am going to set the altitude at Sokan, although the restriction is between 2,400 and 5,000 feet. I'm going to put it on the lower end of that, so probably maybe 3,000 feet, and that way I'm not going to stress out about being able to make, Tango Sierra 426 altitudes and further down. And you can see, so if we make that 3,000 at Sokan, because we're definitely going to be 7,000 at Runzi. But if you look at the approach, that Tango Sierra 426, which comes right after Sokan, is at 2,000. So that's going to be fine. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go into my flight management computer now, go to the LEX page and look for that waypoint Sokan. There it is. And I'm going to put in, instead of between 2,400 and 5,000, I'm just going to put 3,000. Okay. I hope that all works out just fine. Okay, so we carry on with our landing calculations. So we'll use the virtual performance tool first. But one thing before we do that is let's take a look at our most recent tracking of the fuel burn. And that would be TODAM, it was 5.5. So TODAM was 5.5. So we'll go based on that. We'll say we're going to have a 500-pound delta, 500-kilo delta. So we'll add 500 kilos to the planned landing weight. planned landing weight was 66.8 tons. Let's just check, double check both the aircraft. Planned landing weight 66.8. Yeah. Okay. So we're just going to add 500 kilos to that, so it'll be 67.3. Roger. So here we're going to do landing en route, and it's going to be, so let's pick the right airport, which is going to be VVTS, and I think the runway is going to be 25, right? 25 right. We're going to ignore gradient and we circle further and back to the landing weight 67.3. So 67. I'm going to do a screenshot of this to show what we came up with the virtual performance tool, and then we'll use Simbrief to do the same thing. Put in 67.3 as a gross weight, flaps 30, and auto brakes 3 is a first swag. But let's see. Okay, so look at the graphic, and I'm not sure if you get this graphic. It doesn't help us though, it's not showing any of the axes. So now, because of that, we need to look at the chart. So looking at the chart, and the landing, where the orange comes into the runway, so 25 right. That runway is 10,007 feet long. And let's say that we're going to try to make pop-up 5, okay? Now I'm just going to estimate that that is 70% of the runway. So that's going to be about 7,000 feet is what we need. Going back to this, 7,000 feet, you would need max auto for that. So they say max auto but with idle reverse. Okay, so this is something I need to screenshot. Okay, and now we'll do the Simbrief version of it. So let's see, Simbrief performance. So we're gonna do landing performance. Okay, so landing performance is the same aircraft. So it's a Max 8, and it's our Raya Express. And the airport is VVTS. And the runway is 25 right. Okay, and the weight is 67.3, so 67,300 kilograms. Flap settings 30. The reverse credit, we're just going to say no, so it's assuming idle. Turbulent weather. Okay. I don't know what this count method is, the flight method. Anyway, so I think we've got what we need, so let's press the download. Okay, so yeah, auto brakes 2 is not going to be enough. So it's about 8,000 feet. So let's see, what are we going to do? Let's put the auto brakes as 3. Try that. It's 3. It's still not going to be enough, so let's do auto brakes. Max auto. Yeah. So max auto is showing that the factor distance will be 5,600 feet. And we have, yeah, 5,600 feet. It's very similar. Very similar. Okay, and I guess I could have just said, you know what, let's just go to Papa 6 instead of Papa 5. But and I might have overestimated the distance to Papa 5. Oh well. Possibly an auto brakes 3 might have worked, but at least I have room now. Anyway, both yielded very similar results. Okay, enough playing around with that. Let's get back to our flight. Top of descent is coming up. 217 in 15 minutes. Okay, so what was our most recent fuel? ECMON. ECMON 4.4, ECMON 4.9. Okay, we're holding to that 500 kilos in the pocket quite well. So our estimates are correct. And let's peek outside again for any ATC. Still only ground. Okay. But we want it. So ground. Is 121.9. And runways, departures, arrival is 255. Still saying arrival 255. Okay, we are good to go. So we're gonna have to descend. So what do you want to descend to? We're on evens, so let's go to initially to 18,000 about altitude. Flight level 180. This is not going down immediately. This is just going to go down at top of the slope. Alright, let's take a look at QNH. 1010. He's asking us to vacate by Raya. Oh, Papa 4, 5 or 6. And hold short of runway 25 following from. Request to follow ATC instructions strictly. This was Panasonic. Okay. Papa 4, 5 or 6. And as we were planning, yeah, we were planning 5. We could have done 6. And then auto brakes. 3, but we don't have to pay for repairs, so we're going literally for broke. Okay, so if our landing is 67.3, see that max landing weight is 69.3, so we still have 2,000 kilos of available weight, which we won't need. Well, it's been pretty smooth flight so far. No issues. Dark mode. So if we had needed to burn off some fuel, we could have done it at a holding point at Dagag and also Alsace. Two different opportunities. Burn some fuel. Box on. Okay, box on 4.7. Okay, now we're going up a bit. There's a difference of 600, so our landing weight will be 67.4. But that is no change. Minutes to top of the sun. was so busy making that announcement about turning the seatbelt signs on. But and I just reminded myself that this is a cargo flight, and what I'm envisioning is that because it's a 3-sector route that was flown continuously, there was 2 sets of crew, and then 2 engineers. So 4 pilots and 2 engineers, so 6 packs on board. But to some degree, I think Simbrief and the aircraft, Sim-Avionics, I think they, when they talk about how many passengers you have on board, that's passengers in addition to the crew and the pilots. So on a normal flight, a passenger flight, you probably have 2 pilots and maybe 4 cabin crew. So that would be 6 packs. So that's I'm assuming that 6 people are already accounted for in the zero fuel weight of the aircraft. So that's why for this flight, even though we had 6 packs, I put 0 passengers into the calculation. So anyway, I'm thinking that well, I guess you still would advise whoever's not sitting in the cockpit. And in a 737 aircraft, usually you have 1 jump seat, so you have a maximum of 3 people. So there's at least 3 other people sitting in the regular seats that you would want to tell that you were putting the seatbelt signs on. So it was an, I guess, appropriate announcement. Just reminding myself this is a cargo flight. Okay, top of descent is coming up in about 3 minutes. Unicom traffic, Raya Express 4163 is over waypoint Dargag and descending now from flight level 360 for flight level 180 Unicom traffic. And here we go, we're descending. Okay, let's do the descent checklist. Pressurization, landing altitude has been set. recall check. Auto brakes has been set to auto brakes max. Landing data VREF. We've got flaps 30 and 147 knots. So for the landing we do 147 plus 5, so 152. And the approach briefing we've completed. We're going to shorten the approach into 10 seconds. Descent checklist complete. Okay, let's revisit that shortening. Yeah, that's good. Still got 148 miles to go. I think before we get to Alsace, we'll make that change. Okay, let's do a Dargard fuel check. 4.4. 4.4. Let's back to 500 over. Okay, let's get it back to 500 over. So 500 over will be 67.3. And it's still going. Okay. We'll put this on the leg stage. Be prepared to descend further, and our next adjustment will be to flight level 070. Forgot to start it up. Okay. I knew I forgot something. Yeah, that's sidecar, smart car, which logs my flight for United Virtual that I'm a part of. And one of the nice things about it is it also does landing rates, and they track your landing rates. So for this particular flight, I'm not going to have a record of that, but that's too bad. And then I'll have to file the flight manually to get the credit for the miles. Gosh darn. Okay, let's dial this further down to 7,000. And just as a reminder, intercept altitude is 2,000 feet, and missed approach is 3,000. Okay, let's do that modification to the plan. What we're going to do is we're going to go run Z direct to Sokan. Okay, so let's find Sokan, and we want to bring it up to just below run Z. Does that look right? That looks right. Execute. That's on hot traffic. Raya Express 4163 is inbound waypoint Alsace, and we had been expecting Alsace 2 hotel arrival, but we're doing an abbreviated arrival, and we're going direct from waypoint Runzi to SOCAN, taking out the dog leg. We're also expecting ILS Whiskey runway 25 right, and expected time of arrival is 0243 Zulu, Tanson Hut traffic. So we'll be there in about 20 minutes. And we can dial it further down to 2000. Do another QNH check. One zero. The coast of Vietnam. It's a pretty clear day today. Some traffic, Raya Express 4163 is inbound waypoint Gomin, and 20 miles out from Gomin, and expected time of arrival runway 25 right is 0245 Zulu. That's on traffic. It's terrible. Should have had my information lined up before I opened the mic. Okay, so on my diagram here you see the Runzi offset, but I'm going actually direct from Runzi to Soka.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you store any electronic devices until we are safely parked at the gate, as use of such devices could interfere with the electronic landing equipment on board the aircraft. In final preparation for landing, please ensure your seatbelts are securely fastened, your seatbacks are in the upright position, and your tray tables are stowed. Any hand luggage should be underneath the seat in front of you or placed in the overhead locker. The flight attendants will be passing through the cabin one last time to complete their final compliance check and to collect any remaining cups or glasses.
Right, let's get the engine start switches to continuous. Okay folks, we are about 10 minutes away from landing at Tan Son Nhat Airport in Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City. It's been a fairly uneventful flight from Labuan, and we'll be on the ground very shortly in about 10 minutes. Ciao for now. Not sure I can see it, but the airfield should be somewhere out there. Okay, when we get to the 20-mile ring, we'll do flaps 1. Although that's probably very premature, since we've got a point over there that says 230. Still, I don't like to be going full speed at the intercept. A little bit bumpy. Scope for anybody in the area. Uh-oh, there's tower now. Tower. The heck? .118.7. Let's slow to flaps up speed. 1, speed check, flaps 1.
Take your seat, landing.
Okay, flaps 5. Let's arm the approach mode. It's 25 right. Check. Tansuan Hut Tower, good day. Raya Express 4163 is on the localizer 25 right. Okay, get up. Flaps 15, 200 knots, flaps 15. Flaps 30, we need 175 or less. Flaps 30. Flaps 30, now we want 152 knots. 152 knots set. Okay, landing checklist. The engine start switches to continuous, speed brakes arm, landing gear down, flaps set with green lights. Landing checklist completed. Tower, good day. Raya Express 4163 is fully established on the ILS 25 right. So we're looking to vacate. About 5 is what our plan is. So we hold short on 25 left.
1,000.
Check.
Approaching 2-5 right.
Okay, autopilot disconnect. Check.
Approaching minimums. Minimums 300.
Landing. Auto throttle disconnect.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Reverse is idle.
Ladies and gentlemen, it will take the captain a few moments to taxi to the gate, and we ask that you remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened until the seatbelt sign has been turned off and the aircraft comes to a complete stop at the gate. That will be the only indication that it is safe to get up and move about the cabin. We also ask that you keep the aisle clear of any hand luggage. This is the termination of our flight, so we ask that you check the seatback pockets and overhead lockers for any articles you may have brought with you. Extra care should be taken when opening overhead lockers, as some items may have shifted during our flight. On behalf of the captain and his crew, we would like to thank you for flying with us and wish you all a pleasant stay. Thank you.
You can cross here left. Ground, good day. Raya Express 4163 is taxiing on Papa 4, making a left onto Papa 5.
Approaching 07 right.
There's nobody talking to me here. There's ground. Ground is 121. This one. Tanson Hut ground, are you active? This is Raya Express 4163. Okay, he's not active. So let's get to our parking, which is 53. Okay, so look left, right. Okay. I thought we'd get ATC, but nobody's responding. Okay, Tanson Hut traffic. Raya Express 4163 is crossing runway 25 left. Express is going to proceed to the cargo apron via Sierra 8 and Victor. Looks like an aircraft there. Tanson had traffic. Raya Express 4163 is on taxiway Victor, and we will make a right-hand turn on Yankee 1 and proceed on Yankee 1 to our parking bay 53. Tanson had traffic. Airways aircraft. We are turning here. 121.9. Ground, Raya Express 4163 is with you on taxiway Yankee 1. Ground, Raya Express 4163 on taxiway Yankee 1, and we are looking for gate 53 in the cargo area. Is my radio not working? Yeah, it's working. 121. On taxiway Yankee 1, looking for gate 53 cargo. Yankee 1, Sierra 5, Yankee 4. Sierra 5, Yankee 4. Roger. Okay. So he doesn't have any voice APC. Oh my god. He needs to get a radio, man. Oh, what's this now? What is he saying? ground. This is Raya Express 4163. Are you copying my audio?
Romeo Mike Yankee 4163 Tattoo from Livery, sir.
Okay, I can hear you now. This is Raya Express 4163.
Romeo Mike Yankee 4163, Roger, thank you so much. Continue back to Stand 53 via Sierra Yankee 4.
Roger, we'll continue taxi Sierra Yankee 4 to Parking Bay 53. Thanks for your help, Raya Express 4163. Okay, so he had some mic issues. Well, that was fairly uneventful and no ATC while airborne. I was hoping to get the tower, but they seemed to be up, but then they weren't. So sometimes it gets like that. And you know, if I fly at a different time when it's evening in Vietnam, I probably have a better chance of getting more ATC, but that would, well, I guess it's not too bad. That would mean that I would have to get up early in the morning on my time. This is a very comfortable 9 o'clock in the evening departure time. Still, I'm gathering a collection for this circuit of collection of videos. So we already have done the first sector from Kuala Lumpur Subang Airport to Labuan, and now this stream is from Labuan to Ho Chi Minh City. And the next one, I'm not sure when it will be, but it will be from Ho Chi Minh City to Kuala Lumpur Subang Airport. Okay, we're parked. View bleed on. Power off. 3:06 arrival time. Ground power is available. Ground power on. APU bleeds off. Fuel off. Packs off. Let's operate the stairs.
Attention at ground, Wagon Air 41 at gate 15 with information Juliet at QNH 1010 requesting IFR clearance for Bangkok.
Wagon Air 41 Roger, information Juliet is current. You are clear to destination via cabin 2 Delta. Runway 25 left for departure, initial climb 9,000 feet. Expect level 360, squawk 5731.
Okay, cleared departing on runway 25 left. This happened to the departure. Initial climb to 9,000. Expect flight level 360, squawk 5731. Wagon Air 41. Thanks a lot, man.
Okay. So let's
Wagon Air 41, reback correct, go me back for pushback.
Okay, we'll advise for pushback. Wagon Air 41. Thank you.
And good shot of the aircraft. I haven't configured it as a cargo carrier just because I don't have the proper cargo doors. But we do have the one cargo door open there, and we've got the stairs on this side. And actually that makes a good picture. Okay, so I'm going to update our actuals here. And 055 departure. Pushback 0109 takeoff. 0244 landing. And 0306 parking. So we were 5 minutes early departing, pushing back, and we were 1 minute early on the parking. And we were
Wagon
delayed.
Air 41 Roger, stand 15, you have pushback is approved, facing east on Victor.
Facing east on Victor. Wagon Air 41.
Okay, guys, I'm glad you can make this flight, and we'll catch up with you on the next one. I'm not sure if the third sector in this 3-sector routing is going to be the next one. I think I'm overdue to do a United flight, but we shall see. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch up with you later.